Billionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
A poor man prayers,
every man bleeds.
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.
Yo, what's going on? It's your boy SL550, and this is the N.G.L.A. podcast. Today, man, we're going to be talking about a few things, some comments Bill Maher said, actually giving Trump his props, as he should, man, and many other people should, and he's actually on a podcast with this guy. Honestly, they played a clip of him yesterday on my show, but I don't watch this guy because he's just a Trump hater. So, I'll see little things here and there, but, it is what it is. But also, Trump making big deals. I showed y'all the big deal he did with the EU, Philippines, Japan, Indonesia, and Filibuster is going, that's their channel name, Filibuster. Make sure you go follow. It's going to kind of break things down so you can get a better understanding of why these deals are good and good for America. Then we're going to end it with just giving an update on the NYC shooter, the New York City shooter, and the Walmart random stabbings, man. It's just so much of this kind of going on right now. It's like kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know what people get out of this, them type of things, but I guess people kind of get off, man. But anyway, before we start, man, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. Also, hit that notification bell so you get notified every time your boy drop a dope video. Let's get into it, man.
He's an idea guy. Like he's a people person. He talks to a lot of people. That's not the worst thing in the world. It would be the worst thing if it was only the ass kissers, and it's probably mostly them. But I think he just likes a wide array. It's a lot of not what I read, it's a lot of what I heard and people are saying.
Yeah.
And he just, he's an idea guy. Like, let's take Greenland, let's reopen Alcatraz. Let's open Alcatraz on Greenland. Talk about ideas.
I mean, maybe, okay, so maybe it's not maybe these things are not deliberate, but I think it still lends itself to this idea.
It does.
It's
not that Steve Bannon made him into a guy who floods the wrong shit.
He knows how to
Steve
exploit.
Bannon found a guy who naturally floods the zone bush. That's how it happened.
And so I think the onus, I mean, look, for folks like me who are on the left, the onus then becomes how can we most effectively filter through that stuff and keep our eye on the main things. And that becomes difficult at times when there's 10 different things going on at once.
Be honest. Don't just be partisan.
Something that he knows that this guy doesn't do. He knows it. Look at his face. He knows he's not honest. If you go to this guy's page, he'll probably say it. Or if you can go to Bill Maher's page, and look at this interview. I forget it. Oh, Tyler, go read the title. What am I talking about? Brian Tyler Cohen. That's his name. So go check him out. Give him a follow. If you into that type of stuff, definitely follow him. Like I said, I'll watch something here and there just to get his opinion on something or see what he's talking about. But most of it is just, I hate Trump, and I'm going to say and do anything to go against Trump. This dude, he's just one of those guys, man. And that's what listen, when you in this space, just like he just said, just start off, just be honest. Bill Maher, if he wants to continue to have a show and have followers and people that respect his program, you have to be honest, bro. You have to. It's one thing to criticize certain things that could be criticized, but it's another thing to just flat out lie and just say and do anything. If you go to his page, all you see is just, Trump was founded and Trump was, Trump caught doing this. Trump, Russia hoax and like just a bunch of garbage, bro. And it's like, listen, Trump ain't perfect. Trump exaggerates. He does things that, but at the same time, bro.
And just don't be like, honest. Don't be, I mean, you do what you want. You're very successful. It's not my way, exactly. I mean, I will always call it as I see it, no matter what it is, and I don't care who likes it or doesn't. That's my bond with the audience. It's worked for me pretty well. But it is, in a way harder to do. But just to take an example, tariffs. Now, I remember along with probably most people, were saying at the beginning, oh, by the 4th of July, somebody had to think how the country the economy was going to be tanked by then. And I was kind of like, well, that seems right to me, but that didn't happen. Now, it could happen tomorrow.
That's true. But give me 1 second, because for some reason I'm having a...
in a depression at all. I see people out there just living their lives. And I would have thought, and I got to own it, that these tariffs were going to fucking sink this economy by this time, and they didn't. So, how do we deal with that fact? Because that's the fact.
Yeah, I think first is, and I've learned this the hard way, not to make predictions about what's going to happen, because it's really fucking difficult to predict anything. And if I was good at predicting things, Hillary would have been the president in 2016, and I wouldn't have sold my Netflix stock back in 2010. But here we are. I think the way that's kind of exposing itself right now is with the Epstein stuff. I mean, you had all these Republicans that were clamoring because they thought that Trump
I'm on vacation a little bit, so I just heard the little bits of this. So fill me in what's going on with Epstein.
So
he's really alive, like Elvis.
he's alive, sitting in a cell. No, so Epstein, they had promised all of these Trump administration officials, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, all had promised to release these Epstein files. And when they got in,
I remember that.
When they got in, they would finally uncover these files that would be hidden by the deep state and these communist Marxist Democrats, and they would expose this whole list. So these guys come in. I mean, you've got, literally, Kash Patel and Dan Bongino made their entire careers in talking about this stuff over and over and over again. They get, put into the top spots in the FBI and Pam Bondi at the DOJ, and suddenly it's time for them to put up or shut up. And Pam Bondi and the DOJ released a report saying that there's no Epstein client list. So apparently nobody was benefiting from all of the depraved things that Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were doing. And man, did that piss the fuck off the entire audience that followed Dan Bongino, Kash Patel, Pam Bondi, Alina Habba, and Donald Trump, all of whom thought that they were going to hold true to their word to actually get some accountability for these depraved...
Yeah, my bad, people, man. It's the nature of going live, though. It is what it is. My camera went out, but I kept it rolling. That's the type of stuff to be killing me, man. I'd be like, damn, come on. Everything's starting off so good and so clean, and then boom. But whatever, man. But let's finish up
crimes
with just a little bit more of this.
And of course they're not going to release this stuff, because first of all, you've got Trump himself, who's been in God knows how many photos with the guy. Epstein called Donald Trump his closest friend for 10 years. That was Epstein's direct quote. And so, of course, these files were never going to get released, and they didn't. But now you have a whole sense of.
Wait. We are assuming that if I'm Epstein, who is, I said this on my show recently, if there's a guy who's really rich, and you're not quite sure how he got that rich, he doesn't seem to have any talents, he's a pimp. He's a pimp.
Okay.
There are guys like that.
Who are you referring to?
Epstein.
Okay. He's
a pimp.
A pimp for kids.
Dude,
yeah.
I've known guys like this.
Yeah.
Pussy whisperers. That's what a pimp is, a pussy whisperer. Someone who can they just have this, I don't know what it is. I don't have it. I'm glad I don't have it. But they have an ability to talk women into anything. Even when it's not, the woman doesn't benefit that much. It's just an amazing skill that some guys have. That's who he was. He was a pimp. We are assuming that this pimp kept a physical record, and I'm not. No, maybe
Correct.
I missed this.
Who knows?
So they don't know.
I mean, we don't know what we don't know any information. It's a black hole.
Right.
Because they keep refusing to release anything.
Okay,
so we actually
I'm
don't
just
know.
saying, if my business, as it was Mr. Epstein's business, was being a pimp, that's what he was. He was great at that. I've got girls. You say that to a nerd like Bill.
It's just so funny. Like, why are you now all of a sudden trying to put it on Donald Trump? Like, it's Donald Trump's fault that these things aren't being released. When literally this guy was locked up in what, 2019, I believe, and you're trying to make it you're trying to make it seem as though like, oh, it's Donald Trump's fault. That's the reason why it's not getting released, because it's Donald Trump's fault. Like, bro, Biden couldn't have released it. They had the information. They chose not to release it.
Gates.
Yeah.
Hey, I've got Alan Dershowitz. You're an ugly looking motherfucker. Would you like to be friends with me? I know a lot of girls.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I think there's no doubt about something and expose it, and it was so anticlimactic and so similar to everything else that's been said from the left. That like it just it. I think that it's really disillusioning for a lot of these folks on the right who kind of viewed the left as the impediment to getting that justice, and now you're seeing the exact.
Yo, if things went out, just refresh the page and just go out and go back, because for some reason the connection is like a little off, but we're gonna keep it rolling today, man.
Same talking points being trotted out on the right.
Oh.
And like, you know, there's a lot of things that Trump has done, to your exact point, that fall into the category of, okay, this is going to piss some people off. But it usually feels like it has very little staying power. Trump bombs Iran, and like even you have a few people that came out and said, okay, this guy promised to be the pro-peace president. But like for a lot of people, are they gonna like change, switch sides, abandon the guy?
It.
But like this feels,
loved
this here as it relates to.
I know it's annoying, this dude that Bill Maher is actually like actually agreeing with Trump and things that Trump is doing, because I think honestly, bro, because we're gonna move on, because I want to get into this. I want to get into the filibuster and this guy breaking down these deals. But you get the point. I just wanted to play that part when he is basically giving Donald Trump his props and basically saying, listen, bro, be honest. Be honest. It's worked for me. Just being honest and being truthful. Yes, I'm getting backlash, of course, from the left and all of that, but just be honest. The truth is the truth. And at the end of the day, you know, they're not going to break every single thing down that Donald Trump is doing, but you got people like this guy is going to break down these this big EU deal and kind of give you a different perspective on it, so you can kind of understand how this benefits America, because that's what it's all about, bro. You put people in office to benefit your neighborhood, to benefit your city, your state, and to ultimately benefit the nation. We from America, bro. Yes, do we want peace and, end all war and all of this unnecessary, killing that's going on in these foreign countries and stuff like that? Of course, yes. But at the end of the day, we're Americans. Just like if you go over there to China and these other countries, they're worrying about their country and their best interests. We need to worry about ours. And I feel as though out of the last 4 or 5 presidents, Donald Trump has been the only president that actually cares about America's best interests. I'm just being honest, man. I'm not being biased. I'm just being honest. Let's get into this.
President Trump has secured a trade deal with the European Union over the weekend. Can Trump's tariffs and trade deals usher in a golden age for America? Good afternoon. I'm Reese Black, and you are watching Filibustered Live. And today we are getting into the details of the EU trade agreement and some of the ramifications that we could see in the United States because of this and similar deals. So yesterday, Trump announced that they had cut a new deal with the European Union. And the details to this are pretty simple. No tariffs on the United States. So the European Union will no longer have any tariffs on the United States. We, however, I say we as in a U.S. citizen, we get to put 15% tariffs on the EU. And as well as the EU will be buying $750 billion worth of energy from the United States. And the last bit is the EU will also invest an additional $600 billion beyond its current investments in the United States and will purchase U.S. military equipment. So this is a massive win for the United States. I don't care if you like Trump or if you hate Trump. He has negotiated down a really good deal for us, for the United States. No tariffs on us, 15% tariffs on the EU. And then we have these major investments coming in. This is a simply massive deal. And it could be the beginning of lower taxes and greater prosperity for Americans, which is something I'm going to get into here in just a little bit. But a few more details. This trade deal comes right before an August 1st deadline that Trump has set. So this August 1st deadline, Trump has said tariffs will greatly increase on all countries that do not have deals with the United States before August 1st, which is just a few days from now. So Trump has cut similar deals with other countries recently in the last month. So tentative trade deals currently with China, the UK, the Philippines, and Indonesia. Last week, he also cut a similar deal with Japan. So very similar to the EU deal. It includes no tariffs on the United States, 15% tariffs again on Japan, and also commitments from Japan to open its markets to more U.S. goods, as well as invest $550 billion into the United States. So if you put the Japan deal and the EU together, that is nearly $2 trillion of new investment into that's coming into the United States with those two deals together. So for the United States, especially for the government, it means new revenue through these 15% tariffs that we did not have before. And it's also the potential for higher earnings for businesses and individuals through more U.S. exports. Because again, since these countries no longer have tariffs on the United States, and they also have commitments now to buy more from the U.S. to try to even out that trade deficit that Trump's always talking about. Whether you think the trade deficit is a good thing or a bad thing, there definitely is now a potential for businesses and individuals in the U.S. to earn more by shipping more goods outside the United States to the EU and Japan, because they're now cheaper in those countries without having any tariffs on them. And then also you have the foreign investment that could potentially be a cause for higher earnings here in the United States. So I do want to talk about two specific things. We're going to get into some, some sort of what ifs and some numbers and some analysis for what could be coming in the future because of some of Trump's grand dreams and promises and things that he wants to do, and how these tariffs and these trade deals all plays into that. And so I'm going to get into those two things, but they are basically the first one is I'm going to talk about how this helps us cover the big beautiful bill shortfall, which I've covered in a previous episode, explaining how the recent massive omnibus bill did have a budget shortfall. And I'm going to get into that. And this actually helps us cover that. And the last one, of course, is how this plays into the larger plan of Trump wanting to eliminate federal income tax and whether or not that's actually possible. So,
Yo, just imagine that though, because Barry Cunningham was talking about this, and he was kind of saying like he feels as though like that's Trump's ultimate goal is to get rid of income tax and make it to where it's just one tax. And I think that's sweet, man, because think about all the taxes that we pay, bro. If I work, I look at my check and I be like, God damn, like you getting taxed before you get your money, you getting taxed about 8 times. I know guys that work where I work at in Jersey, but they from Philly, so they paying the Philly and New Jersey federal tax plus health insurance, and you got a union tax. There's so many different taxes, bro. Like, it should just be one tax. When you go to the store and purchase a product, you should, it should be a small tax on that, on everything you buy and things like that. But if I go and work and have an income and I make, $25, $26, $30, $40 an hour, I should get all of my fucking money, bro. I shouldn't have to work even harder for me to get the amount of money that I'm trying to get for the month, or for you get paid every week, every 2 weeks, however it is. But it's just crazy, bro. But that'd be super dope. But let's just see what he's talking about as far as how this is going to help.
This one, of course, is that announcement with Japan. And so we're going to talk about the big, beautiful bill shortfall here. So this is a whole episode that we did when the Senate passed the big, beautiful bill, the Senate and the House together. And if you go check out this episode, you can go see all the tax cuts that were in it and the new spending and all that kind of thing. But one of the things I described is, of course, since they cut lots of taxes and also increased the spending, that meant that we had now a budget shortfall. So according to the Congressional Budget Office, this shortfall was going to add $3.3 trillion of debt over the next 10 years. So that sounds really bad. But as I explained in this video, that's not actually the full story. Because if you account for all the other things that Trump and the Trump administration has been doing, we've actually already made up for a lot of that shortfall. So I'm going to pull up my Excel sheet that I had for this episode. And let's get into the numbers here. And then we're going to be able to compare them to what they are kind of now with some of the new tariff information that we have going on here. So what I did in that episode is I broke down, like I said, there's a $3.3 trillion deficit over the next 10 years. And this estimate comes from the Congressional Budget Office. So what I did was I was like, okay, well, that's a big number. Let's break it down by year. So over the next 10 years, we're $330 billion short from this new bill that was passed in Congress, right? But as you can see here, the other things that Trump's administration has been doing has already been eating away at that shortfall. So we had 170 billion saved by Doge. At the time, we had 50 billion additional money brought in from tariffs when I did this analysis, and then we had another 5 billion raised from selling Visa Gold cards, which is one of Trump's initiatives to sell travel visas to the United States at $5 million a pop. And so what this equaled was we had basically around $100 billion shortfall we had to somehow make up for, right, for the rest of the year. Well, these numbers are actually looking a lot better for us here. So this, like I said, that $50 billion in tariffs, that's an old number. And I just got the updates today. This is pretty crazy. In the last 2 months, each month, we've raised $20 billion additional money in tariffs just in the last couple of months. So this tariff account money has actually been going up and up. And the estimate right now is by the end of the year, we're going to have $240 billion raised from tariffs. That's on top of last year's money. So there's $240 billion more dollars, right, in tariffs. And so if you take that into account, this $100 billion that we had left, this is actually wiped out. And Trump's initiative now has actually put us $100 billion into the green. So if you count Doge, the tariffs, and the budget bill together, count all these three things together, we are actually now with this estimate, we're going to raise $240 billion in tariffs by the end of the year for the entire year. And that's additional new money. We're actually $100 billion on top. And this, again, is without any further Doge cuts, and it's without any more sales of those Visa cards that I mentioned.
So basically, in plain terms, all the shit that you've been told from CNN and MSDNC has been lies, that the tariffs was going to cause a recession and inflation, even though inflation is low and low as it's been in years, especially since Biden has been in office. And the more of the story for me is this. I see, people I'll be, going back and forth with a little bit. They'll send me a video. I don't really send them videos. Just watch my podcast if you really want to know my opinion on anything, right, that's going on. But a lot of people don't be really doing a little research on things. And I tried to explain that the tariffs was going to be a good thing, just like a lot of things in the One Big Beautiful Bill, because, 1 + 1 is 2. So tariffs he literally put tariffs in place to make deals. He understood that we've been getting raped on everything for decades, not like a year or two, or even during Biden's term, for decades. We've been getting raped in trade, and it's been a lot of stuff going on that's been hurting America. So He's bringing business back to America, right? That's a big thing. He's opening up other countries so we can sell our agriculture, our goods, our cars, all of these different things in other countries, which is a good thing for America, right? He's bringing businesses back, which in return brings jobs back to America, right? So it's more Americans being able to get jobs. He's getting illegal immigrants out of the country, so they're not taking up American jobs. All of these different things that he's doing, and he's been doing it in a short period of time. I just don't understand how people don't understand that Donald Trump is doing what's good for America. We need to start paying more attention, man, to what's going on, man. But it's just they try to you know what they do? They try to play the little racist thing. They try to show you all of this shit that's going on. And they try to just cloud your mind with Diddy and this and that. Like, who cares about any of that shit? Even the Jeffrey Epstein shit. What is that doing? Well, how is that benefiting your family? It's not. You know what I mean? These certain bills and things getting passed, they, like I said, they directly affect you and your family. You know, gas being high, all of these different things that need to go down, rent crazy. Like, come on, man. I remember I don't even like thinking about it, man. Shit be so high, bro. I went to McDonald's and got a medium fry and was like, God damn, this shit $5. That's crazy. To me, that's ridiculous. You know, it's just so much shit, man. That's why, like, I'm rooting for Donald Trump and what he's doing. I think he's doing a good thing for America, man. You know, fuck if I don't even give a fuck if the nigga was a racist. I really don't care. Because him being racist it's not, as long as he's doing everything else that's, bringing the economy back to fucking regular, to where everybody able to make money and buy a home and, that's all I care about. I could care less if that man a fucking racist. The fuck? I don't gotta be around the nigga all day. I don't give a shit. I don't even give a shit, Anyway, let's get into this update with these nut-ass motherfuckers running around shooting.
We continue to follow breaking news. 4 people have been shot and killed, including an NYPD off-duty officer working a security detail. The NYPD just posted a picture of the officer, Didarul Islam. Investigators say a man seen on security camera carrying a rifle walked into an office building in Midtown and shot the officer. 3 others dead. Police say the suspect then shot himself on the 33rd floor. The officer was married, father of 2, with another on the way. Police say the shooter had a mental health history, but right now his motive is under investigation.
Investigator Masa Saidi has been digging into the shooting suspect's background.
Yeah, Masa, the big question, of course, is that motive, and it doesn't sound like we have a lot on it yet.
Yeah, we just heard the police commissioner say that we do not have a motive. So as you guys say, we have been trying to learn as much as we can about this suspect. We attempted to reach out to his family. We have not been able to make any contact yet. But as we've been reporting all night, he did have a concealed carry permit that was issued back in 2022. That's good for 5 years. It was still active. And that means that when this permit was issued, if the process down in Nevada worked as it should, there would have been no major red flags for law enforcement at the time. Because here is what makes you ineligible to get a CCW permit in Nevada. If you have a felony conviction, you're barred. If you're convicted of stalking, you're barred. Same if you've habitually abused alcohol or drugs, for example, or if you've been admitted to a mental health facility within the last 5 years. But at the presser, we heard the police commissioner say that she's in touch with LVMPD. Those are the authorities that issued this CCW permit to the suspect, and they say that the suspect has a documented mental health history. So we heard our expert talking about some of the red flag potential issues that could be raised by that. Now, we know there's 44 floors on this building and Park Avenue, including Blackstone, NFL, what we've been reporting all night long. Now, police say that from the lobby, he went to the 33rd floor. He fired rounds. He killed 1 person on the 33rd floor. And now we know that Rudin Management, that's the landlord of this building, that is where they were located. And before we knew about this tragedy that potentially they've lost one of their own, we did reach out to them to try to get comment about the news as it was unfolding. But, we're going to continue to work this, guys, and try to get as much information as we can. But an M4 rifle, a revolver allegedly in this gentleman's car, came here from cross country. What happened? How did we get here? If what police say is true.
And prescription medication, too, the commissioner said as well, they found in searching that car. It's a clear sign that we need to look at security in these office buildings that we all work in, because somebody can clearly now walk in with a rifle and just start shooting.
Casually stroll in the most amazing way fashion.
So scary.
Yes.
Masa, thank you.
Thank you, Masa.
Man. Yo, what's up with these people, bro? Like, I don't understand, bro. Listen, if you wanna off yourself, bro, I don't recommend it, but listen, dog. I don't understand that. You just randomly just walking in places and you just shooting people. I don't get it, bro. It's so weird, man. It seems like you're seeing so much of this now. School shooting, especially. I mean, no, none of this shit is cool. Especially when they be going in these schools, bro, with these children, bro. I think that shit is sick, bro. You gotta be a sick individual, man. I can't fathom, like, what would make people, wake up and be so mentally fucked up. I don't know. That would make you, like, it's one thing to be suicidal because you're going through some or breakup. I don't know. People be depressed about all types of things. That's one thing. But to just take it out on people, I think that's just some wicked shit, man. It's just wicked, man. But let's watch this last one. This was another, like, just crazy, man. Just random, people just doing random shit. For no reason.
We're learning more about a mass stabbing at a Walmart in northern Michigan. Authorities say yesterday's attack was sudden and random. It hospitalized 11 people, 4 of whom are in serious condition, with ages ranging from 29 to 84. The suspect is awaiting arraignment on charges of terrorism. ABC's Rena Roy tells us what authorities are now revealing and has some new video for us.
A community is reeling following a stabbing at a Walmart in Traverse City, Michigan, north of Grand Rapids. At least 11 people stabbed in what authorities are calling a random attack.
I need units inside Walmart, got multiple victims.
New video released shows bystanders confronting the alleged suspect outside the store.
Throw the knife that way!
Boy,
throw it away!
He upped it on him.
Throw it away!
A man pointing a gun at the alleged suspect. Another man demanding he drop the knife. The camera then quickly panning to one of the victims. Officials say the attack.
Hold on, man. I'm getting
was arrested and transported to Grand Traverse County Jail, where he will remain pending. Was arrested and transported to Grand Traverse County Jail, where he will remain pending formal charges and arraignment.
Julia Martell was inside the Walmart.
I heard screaming and I went towards the screaming and I saw the guy with the knife shove somebody, and after he shoved him, he was headed in my direction. I was right there. I saw the knife, but I got out of his way in time, and it seemed like all of the people who got stabbed and got attacked were people who couldn't physically get out of his way, like people in wheelchairs.
Authorities say there were no predetermined victims. Walmart releasing a statement saying violence like this is unacceptable and will continue working closely with law enforcement during their investigation. Michigan's governor adding their thoughts are with the victims and the community. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Boy, oh boy. Motherfuckers are just doing anything, bro. Sorry for the glitching today, people, man. Sometimes I don't know. I just can't control, when you going live, you got to worry about connection problems and stuff like that. I got Wi-Fi extenders and all that. And it just be happening. It is what it is. It'll get better. But yeah, man, these people, bro, I don't get it, man. I just don't understand. Like, what would just make you do that? Like, you that sick? Like, you just, like, people just be out here just wanting to hurt people. Like, and then you hurting people that, like, are just defensive. Like, come on. It said it was upwards of, like, people that was, like, in their 80s. Like, come on, bro. Not that it doesn't, like, not that, like, it's not that it doesn't matter what age. It's all just sick, bro. These motherfuckers out here, I don't know, man. We're just creating monsters out here, man. Just doing a bunch of weird shit. going to schools, just randomly just walking up to people, stabbing them in Walmart. It's like crazy because this is one of the things that made me stop watching the news, because like you see a lot of this stuff and it kind of, I don't know if they trying to make it to where like you just afraid to live life and go places and shit, but I guess it's important to just be on your shit, man, and just watch your surroundings, because you got nutballs like this out there and just doing random goofy shit. It's crazy, man. But yeah, I wanted to say real quick, I just wanted to say that I was doing a lot with the studio, and so I haven't been able to really zone in and really work how I wanted to work, and then, you know, having little situations like I'm having now for some reason with the connection. I don't know, maybe I gotta restart my Wi-Fi or something, but you know, things is definitely gonna get better. I promise you that. You know, I got something in the works, but I wanted to remodel my studio. I'm working on, I got one little piece I want to finish. I want to do this artwork, and then I'm not going to do the green screen thing no more. So I'm excited about, you know, actually doing in studio. It's going to be cool as hell, man. But we're going to end it with that, man. I hope you got some reliable information, you know, from the show today, as far as like Trump and these whole deals. And just, you know, you kind of just see like how these people just be saying and doing anything, you know. But I'll give Bill Maher his props as far as like just coming to the realization that, listen, we got to start being honest, man. Because honestly, all of this, you know, all of these things that they're doing, you know, you've seen it happen. They tried to off Trump. You know, you got crazy people out here. Look at these people in Walmart and New York City just walking in buildings, just shooting people. Like, you know, I'm not saying that these things have a correlation. I'm just saying that the types of conversations that these news networks be having and be gaslighting people, having them believing that Trump is like about to end the world or do some wild, crazy shit, and really he's just not, bro. And, you know, and I had people just out here just doing crazy stuff, like thinking that they're fighting a purpose or something. I don't know. It's weird. I just hope that things get better as far as like the whole division in America, because it's so much division, all this white and black and racism, and then you got, you know, just the Trump hate and, you know, Democrat versus Republican and all of this goofy shit that is just made to keep us divided, because they don't want everybody to come together on anything, to be honest with you. So, you know, it's wicked, man. But anyway, this your boy SL550. This is the N.G.L.A. podcast. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all share, make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, comment down below. I appreciate everybody who keep locking in with me and checking in on the channel. I appreciate it. You know, content gonna get better, things gonna get better. And yeah, man. Until tomorrow, man. I'm gonna lock in early tomorrow, because that be my problem. I be working, I be doing a lot during the day. Believe it or not, be doing too much. But I'm gonna lock in. We gonna have a better show tomorrow. And like I said, I gotta just zone in and focus more on, you know, doing this content, man. You know, because this shit is fun. I love it, but I don't like rushing, you know, and that's what I've been doing these last couple episodes. I've been rushing things, and, you know, instead of, you know, I like being able to take my time. I like being able to just, you know, talk my shit and have fun, you know. But until tomorrow, people, this your boy SL550, N.G.L.A. podcast. I'm out.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams. I know niggas who played ball and gave it up for lean.
Millionaire thoughts, billionaire dreams, but my account in overdraft, I'm about to scream.
Rich man greed,
a poor man prayers.
Every man bleeds,
but look how God made us.
Too many losses, it's only right that we win. Yeah, I made a promise I'm never gonna lose again.